We made it. Arr! Oh, maddening. Absolutely maddening. I will explain when everybody gets in here, but I'm going to just say a hello quick, and then I'm going to bring up our guests, and then I'll explain to you what happened. Maddening. Thank you, Andale. I appreciate you, and hello. Hey, Broke Cowgirl. Thanks for being here, Gwen. Hey, Barb's Country Home. Thanks for being here. Holman's Homestead is here, of course. And Ariella Viking Venture and Victuals is here. Hello, hello. Hey, Cool Gamer. Welcome in. Yeah, I wrote on the other one, and I'll delete that one after. But let me bring up our guests. Hey, Lazy Days Ahead. And then I'll explain to you what happened, because I had to do the same with them. I had to give them another link. So here's Doug and Carolyn from Holman's Homestead. Hello.
Everybody. Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful. How's everybody here?
Doing great, thank you. Hello, Crubby the Beagle. Hello, Rise and Swine Farm. Hey, Life with Linda and Chuck. Yeah, we had a little bit of an issue. So I'll explain what happened. So middle of the week last week, when I went to do the Composting 101 with Nick from Arizona Highland Homestead, I set up the pre-recording like I always do. And the screen looked different, like a software update happened. Thank you, Andale. So the funniest thing is that's why when I do the Homesteading Academy, you see me looking down, and that's because I'm always checking that it's not on YouTube, because I'm paranoid. Right? Hey, Last Days Homestead. Hey, Old Swede. So anyway, I did the same thing I did with Nick as I do with everybody else. Marked it private, pre-recorded it, and then it takes me about a day or so and I can download it. Well, the funniest thing is I never get notifications for a lot of channels, but boy, I tell you, I got a notification that my pre-recorded session was going live. So in 2 seconds, I deleted it. And it was funny because Rochelle at Brampton Gardner had already shared it. So anyway, there was a software update and it's affecting things. And so yesterday when I scheduled this, it showed I had 2 lives scheduled. So I went through it and I looked at the links, and I deleted the one. It shows it's active, and then it tells me that, I have to reschedule it. So sorry. Usually I don't have all this trouble. So we're glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And let me just look here real quick. Last Days Homesteading. So why don't you start off with introducing yourselves and maybe talk a little bit about the name change.
All righty. Here's Carolyn. I'm Doug. We're living at my grandfather's old house and farm. And when we started doing this here, we come up with the name Appalachian American Homestead. Over time, we got to thinking, Grandpa Holman, we thought this would help honor him and the farm that he built and everything. So that is why we went ahead and done the name change. Grandpa, he passed away 2004, and his one girl got the farm and this part of the, and she passed away later on, and we was able to get the farm that it is now. But there hadn't really been anything done to it as far as the farmland. We had used to do the hay still, and we still do the hay. But as far as growing anything, hadn't nothing really been grown since Grandpa passed away. Our dream is eventually to get back. Grandpa had a self-sufficient farm. I mean, he was able to raise all of his own feed. Now I know that's a pipe dream that we,
Mm.
will probably never see, but the only do what?
Meat.
Oh yeah, he raised his own meat. The only thing that I can, Mom even talked about him going to the grocery store to get was like sugar and stuff like that. There, he would take his own, wheat and have it ground into flour. And now the older he got, he started slowing down and started going to the grocery store a little bit more. But I wish a feller could have just took like his mind and downloaded, everything that he knowed. He grew up through the Depression, and he talked about, and this is where I wish we'd have had a camera years ago. Grandpa talked about during the Depression, him and his brothers went out west, hoboing, hopping trains, trying to,
Wow.
make money, and just the different adventures and stuff. That would have been awesome. I think we actually have a little bit of that on a VHS tape. We might sometime try to, convert it over to where we could show that there. But he just animals and talking to one guy, I told him, he said, well, your grandpa he didn't learn it, on his own, is through experience. People he was no vet or anything like that, but people would come around and get him. They had a sick cow, hog or something. And he would go and he knowed a lot about farming and animals, and it was through trials and error, and of course back then, if your crop failed, you might be starving. It was actually a life and death matter back then.
Yep.
So, but no, if we could just get close to what he had did, through the thing, would be great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What a great legacy to be a part of, and to have. And I agree with you. Sometimes I do wish I could download somebody's brains.
Yeah, it just, but yeah, it was just, he was funny, but I can remember the one time. Now, Grandma, they was married, grew up through the Depression there.
Yep.
I can remember when I was little, the one time we was out picking raspberries. They had a big raspberry patch, out behind the woodshed and all. And Mom, me and her, we'd get one or two and eat it, every now and then. And I can remember Granny saying, they're good now, but they'll be a whole lot better this winter. And, the times you're starting to see now, you're starting to think, well, I can understand why, they wanted to put them up and, hang on to them for later on. Like we was talking earlier, I'd seen there where in England they started rationing eggs. Who would have thought? And we've not bought eggs in so long, but when I went to the grocery store today, just got to look, it was $5 a dozen for store-bought eggs. So
And not organic.
no, they're not. Those was not organic or anything. That was just.
And they're all washed.
Yeah, all washed.
Don't
That's
like that.
yeah.
Stop wash. I see people. I'm sorry. I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox, but I see people do it all the time, and they're like, "Well, I wash them for my customers," and I'm like, "You're putting bacteria in the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop washing the eggs. Use a little nail file. Get the pig."
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my thing. But hey, Charlie, Fallen Arkansas veterans. Hello, Cali homesteading, vineyard chicks. Blue Self-Reliance can probably tell us all about the eggs in the UK. But yeah, it's funny. I see things going on and I get like crazy. And don't get me wrong. I know that I could be wrong, right? But I know that sometimes you have to do that. Like you have duck eggs and stuff like that. But you have to be careful of the temperature of your water because it's got to match the egg. Otherwise, it's all that stuff. But drives me crazy.
Yeah.
We keep the dirty ones for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hardly ever have eggs nowadays. I have people showing up knocking on my door, and I'm like, I told you, call me and I'll get you some.
And they usually want it when you don't have.
Yeah, when you're running low,
Yeah,
that's when everybody.
When you've got an abundance, they don't want them.
Yeah, and we've been low for a long time, and it's funny. I tell all my customers, I'm like, look, we've been low. They're molting, all that stuff. Hey, Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. And so what I've tried to do is set up a system where I just say, text me before it's an emergency.
Yep.
Just text me and say, hey, like my hairdresser, the woman who cuts my hair does a great job. I knew that the, Thanksgiving's coming, so everybody's going to want eggs. So she was smart. She texted me about a week ago and said, hey, I'm going to need 2 dozen. And I said, great. The girls are molting. I have a bunch of freeloaders right now. So I said, it may be a little bit just in case you need them now. And she said, nope, we're good. So I went out to the coop like every day and I'm getting like 5. I finally got to the point where I said to her, I said, I'm going to bring them today. I said, but I'm short 1. I'll bring.
Yeah.
She even said to me, she's like, just wait till tomorrow, sweetie. You'll be all right. Because I deliver locally to them.
Yeah.
Right in town. So, hey, Green Granny 2, welcome in. Hey, Hugo Homestead, and Blue answered. Let me just look.
Yeah.
Well, Rich, you're awful lucky your girls are high gear because that's because you got those new ones in there too. My molting, this is early for my girls to molt. It's so weird because ours molted last year in January and February, which is the worst time to molt in South Dakota.
Oh, gosh.
And the 14 that we got last year molted the first year last year and this year, whereas the other ones did not molt for close to 2 years. Supermarkets are lying over here about the shortages being about avian flu, but the truth is that the supermarkets raised the prices massively without paying the farmers their share. Gotcha.
Oh.
Hi, Charlie, Fallen Arkansas Veterans. I thought I said hello, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss you. Yeah, they don't understand. And they don't understand colored eggs either. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people who has to have all the colored eggs, but I really do enjoy my little green eggs and my little bluish eggs. And it's funny, I have a customer that he will not eat the green eggs.
Oh,
really?
They all the same.
Actually, no, his wife won't eat them, but he will eat them. Which is so funny.
Yeah.
I just want to get down to the chat real quick. My favorite Lucy is looking so pitiful right now. Barb is getting 12 to 15 eggs a day. Barb, how many chickens you have? I love having colored eggs too, Gwen. Hey, Lisa Colovi, welcome in. And I'm sorry if I missed you earlier, friend. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Are Morans good layers? Do you know if the chocolate Morans are good layers?
We have, what are they called? The
copper?
Speckled Morans. Lost the name. But they lay daily for us. So.
And what did you say they were called? I thought you said it.
They're a speckled Moran. I can't think of the name of them.
Stage fright here.
That's okay.
It's left me.
It's okay. But, if you think of it, message me, because the reason why I say is I've been interested in adding one of the copper Morans in next year. Yeah. But we really like the buff Brahma that we got.
Yeah, we've got a few of those.
They say they only lay though once a week.
Oh.
And I have too many to tell who's laying what, except by color.
Now, a couple years ago, we had those Eyes of Browns. Mm-hmm. Now, them things was egg lay machines. I mean,
And also the Rhode Island Red.
and Clockwork. And then just when it come time for them to stop, they stopped, and just that was it.
Yep.
And the guy we had bought the chicks from, he had told us, he said, now they will lay, but he said, when it's over, they're over. And we've not had none since then, you know. But now the Rhode Island Reds have done good for us.
Yep. I have we started with 4 of each: Rhode Island Reds, White Leghorns, and Golden Comets.
Uh-huh.
And I found that my original flock is not only power layers but massive egg layers.
Oh,
Like I can't even get I bought plastic containers for 18 packs for my repeat customers, because you know how the 18 packs get all yucky. I had a gift certificate, so they were real cheap. I only got like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But I put our sticker on it, and I was like, that'll be for our regular customers, because I have some that get 2 18 packs a week.
Yeah.
And I can't even get the box closed.
Oh, yes. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny.
Has the
what's that? I'm sorry, there's a delay.
We have a couple that lay the big eggs.
Like that there. It's
nice. Yeah, we added these 14 in last year, and they seem to be they don't seem to be the power layers, which is fine, because I knew that it was more the foofy breeds that I was getting, because I wanted the colors and stuff. Yeah. But I have those Spitzhaubens, the Appenzeller Spitzhaubens.
Uh-huh.
They look like Dalmatians, and they got the funky looking hair up top. They've been laying nicely every day.
She just put on there Cuckoo Morans. That's what it is.
Okay. You know, it's also really cold out by us, and they slow down when it's really cold out because they're trying to keep warm.
Yeah.
So between the molting and the keeping warm, and I think I have an egg eater, you know, that kind of thing. So, because I think we have tonight and tomorrow night will be the worst of it, and then we'll have a heat wave because we'll be in the 40s and the 20s at night. But we were down below 0 last night, and I think with the wind chill, they were saying that it was 16 below or 12 below, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I stopped looking, but
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about why you started a channel.
Well, when the C virus started there a few years ago, we was off work and really I had plenty of time. I was off, and that's when we more or less, I mean, everybody else was going insane and everything there, can't get out and do nothing. We was tickled to death. I mean, we were outside, you know, farming, and I mean, we was living the dream. I mean, we don't really get out a whole lot anyway. Anymore, going 30, 40 miles away to get feed, that's sort of like a vacation for us.
Yeah.
I
can so relate to you guys.
I mean, it's just the trips to go on, you know, to somewhere, that's over. We plan it around like, well, we need to get some feed or, you know, whatever. So, but anyway, started seeing, you know, a few years ago, we always have had a garden and everything, tried to grow a lot of our food. And there was several people at work, you know, I told them it's not that hard, you know, try to grow at least something, start, and then just try to every year add more and more to it. And I did a few videos on showing wicking tubs. You know, the one guy I work with, he doesn't have much land. And I said, well, wicking tubs. I said, they're great. You know, you fill them up with water there. It's easy.
Yep.
And so several started doing that there. And there's quite a few at work there. Now, there was some that already farmed, you know, raised a lot of their food. That one video we got with killing the hogs, he's a great guy. Now, he always has a big garden, him and his family. Jason, he's excellent when it comes to, you know, killing hogs or anything there. me and Daniel went and helped him a couple weeks ago. He had a couple to kill that morning, and he goes through them quick. I mean, we scald them, but just more or less try to help some people out. And we started doing it, and now it's actually fun. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and that's like every week, we've got our little eating thing. We love to eat. We love to cook, but we love to eat it too.
I love to eat,
So we started at What's for Supper Wednesdays, and,
which I love.
good. Thank you. This evening there, we made some. Took Ritz crackers and peanut butter and sugar. I am a diabetic. I shouldn't be eating none of this stuff here, but dip it in chocolate. They're pretty good, but no, I don't know. We enjoy it now. I mean, and Carolyn, she cans and she likes, showing people canning food and stuff like that there. And sometime I would like to try the freeze dryer. We would like to, eventually invest in a freeze dryer and give that a try.
Yep. It's a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
I think more than most people admit. I will say one thing that I'm not as crazy about.
Yeah.
Is the customer service.
Really?
Yep. I will say that I'm not as thrilled about the customer service for my particular model. I'll get into that more as we go along. I want to see if they fix an issue first, but I've heard other people complain about the same thing.
Really?
Yep. And that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason why we've not even,
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's the one thing I would definitely just consider. I'm kind of holding it close to my vest because I'm waiting on a back ordered part, which is common for them. I'm still using it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, dead in the water, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I was a little forceful with them, because basically, here's what happened. The customer service rep told me to use some kind of crazy glue on a part, and I said,
"Oh my God,
no, not for what I paid for that. I need the part." So, hey, Kettle Kitchen, yeah, I left that up until I'm done with this one because I have to delete it. It was a whole technical thing. So thank you. I have to know which one to delete, so that's why I'm waiting. So yeah, so I was not impressed with that, and I kind of countered it with, I spent a lot of money on this, so you need to send me the part and fix it now while it's under warranty. So I was not as impressed. So
okay.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, definitely not. I think the hard part though is they are the name in the freeze dryer world.
Yeah.
So I think that they're still probably better off to buy from instead of buying it from some other place. You'd really have to do your research on the other companies. I hear there's a cheap version in Home Depot. I know nothing about them, because they are the big name. They're in all the stores.
Yeah. So.
But I will say that I was afraid of underestimating my size and my needs. I probably could have gone with the smaller one.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is you just keep it going.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I got it. I had the opportunity to get it, and I'm glad that I got it, and I'm very happy with it. It's been working just fine for me, knock on wood. I just had a little bit of a leak on the pump, and that was what my issue was.
Yeah.
Because I noticed some oil on the sight glass.
Uh-huh.
So that was my complaint about them, and they know it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, a product, you ought to stand behind it. I mean, especially when you're the name of it there, that's.
And how expensive.
Yes.
So I'm waiting on the part, and if I don't get the part, then I will do an honest review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt because they are slammed with people buying them. And I know, the silicone mats took months to come in.
Yeah.
So, so you have animals right now on
Yeah.
your farm. Do you want to share with people who maybe aren't familiar with your channel about what you have going on there besides chickens?
Right now, we've got goats and we've got our chickens. The goats, Carolyn would like to get dairy goats eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the goats that we've got out here, I'm going to be honest, they're mostly pets outside the house. That is more or less the orphanage, you would say.
Yeah.
The ones where mamas didn't accept or whatever, they were bottle babies and put out here.
With our farm.
Yeah.
The other part of the farm.
The other part of their mom and dad's, that's the bigger herd of goats.
Yeah.
Eventually, I would like to trim them back. Grandpa never did. Well, he said years ago he had goats, a few, but he was mostly cattle. And we had cattle up until my grandpa. I think the cattle and all is what kept him going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He was 95 when he passed away, but every morning he had a need to get out there to go check on the cattle. He had that was his kids, his babies. But some of the kids started, well, you need to sit down. You need to sit down.
Yep.
And once he did that, you could see he went downhill.
Yeah.
But up until that point, he had a reason to get up and go out. But no, we would eventually like to small the herd down, could say. And Carolyn would like to get some dairy goats and start. Yes, definitely. Grandpa used to always have hogs. Would definitely love to get back to raising some of those.
Yep.
And like we talked about earlier, you know where your meat's coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The vineyard chicks are loving the wood walls.
Thank you.
Barb's Country Home says she has 10 orphan roosters.
Oh,
I have 4 out of those 7 that I had. I thought I had 2, maybe 3. I ended up with 4. So they are in the grow out pen.
Yeah.
And they're awful small to butcher.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to give them away, but nobody will take them. Everybody thinks there's something wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why are you getting rid of a rooster?
Well, you don't need but a couple.
I only need 1. That's it.
Yeah.
I got Dwight, and I got 4 extra.
Yeah.
what you have to do, it's a running gag here in the little town we live in. Like summertime, zucchinis and squash. You know how all of a sudden they'll take off and just. A lot of times you'll go to the grocery store or something, and if you didn't lock your car up, you'll come back out and you'll have a bag of zucchinis or something sitting there.
Yeah.
Seat and everything. You just have to go out. We're giving a giveaway today. Here's a chicken for Christmas. It's
well, everybody in the chat gets a rooster. No. Hey, Daz, welcome in. No worries at all, my friend. And hey, Annette at the Cow Emporium, welcome in. Sorry I missed you earlier, my friend. Yeah, it's true. I've got 4 of them, and I advertised 2, and I've even reached out to a couple of friends of mine, and I'm like, do you need a couple roosters? And they're like, no, I've got plenty. And I said, come on, you need 2 more. They're really nice looking. I said, one is black with beautiful pearlescent colors. They're gorgeous.
Yep.
Oh, what's that, Andale? You want a rooster? I think you need a rooster to tackle those geese. But I thought that was a really interesting story. I love the legacy on the property, and I love how you started on YouTube. And I think a lot of us started on YouTube around that time. I know for me, when we moved out to South Dakota, it was, well, Ryan was here in 2019. Didn't come out here till January of 2020 because I was still in North Carolina. And when we closed on the house was when we stopped the commuting back and forth. And I was working remotely. So I was working on Eastern time hours, out here being 2 hours behind. So it was really a great schedule.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't working because that was just temporary. And it was funny because I had all this time to watch YouTube. And that's where I learned about Kuni Pigs. And I learned about, Arms Family Homestead and Keeping It Dutch and Walker Farm Fam and all those channels, right? Living Traditions. And that's what really got me. And I was like, well, we're starting a farm. Why don't we do that?
Yep.
So I'm just shocked that it's gotten where it's gotten. So
I know. Yeah.
I don't know that many people.
No.
We're used to being home in these small towns, right? It's just, it's so wild, and then it was funny because when I started working in the county above me, my employees they get a kick out of it because they love watching all this stuff, and they're like, "You do all that on the weekends?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it's funny because they live here in this climate, and they're like, "You do that in the cold weather?" Yes.
You got
It's
it.
too funny. Hey, Leanne, welcome in. So you are getting really close to a big milestone, right? You're going to hit the big 1,000 that everybody looks for when they start a channel.
Yeah.
I think you're at 928 last look.
Yep.
And I also know that we're often very cryptic on when we talk about these things, but they need watch hours.
Yeah.
But they also can use some more friends. So I want to throw that out there because I love What's for Supper Wednesday. I think it's awesome. And I love when you talk about like all the different things that you're doing there and your grandfather's barn and all of that. Hey, Growing with Hudson. What kind of things do you see in the future for your channel, do you think?
Well, hopefully, like I said, I got Italians. The other day, old Jack, our donkey, he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had started falling off a little bit and went up there. It was on a Sunday morning, and the poor old fella was laying there, and he went to sleep. So we buried him. And
he was pretty old.
Yeah, he was
exactly how old.
Don't really know exactly how old he was, but he was getting, old. But he was living a good life. And just more or less, Lord willing, the garden will be bigger next year. Tried a few different things there. We're going to stick with our bean tunnels. Love those. I mean, gravity and beans work great. Walking down through there, just to pull the beans just hang down.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, hopefully we'll get us some hogs, and maybe before long you can see Carolyn out there milking a dairy goat.
Yeah, hopefully.
What kind of dairy goat do you want to get?
Well, I'm still debating on that there, but right now, Nigerian dwarfs, we've read a lot of good things about them. They're on the smaller side, but they said the milk is real, good from them. I don't know. We're still debating on that there. If anybody out here, has any dairy goats and gives us some,
good tips.
Yep. Hey, Matthews Patch, welcome in. You need to talk to Bro Cowgirl. She's got Nigerian dwarf. She loves them.
Yeah.
we've read good things about them, and that's that was the goat we was leaning towards.
Yep.
We'll have cannon.
Oh yeah,
or
more cannon.
maybe house projects.
You go right ahead there.
Maybe some house projects.
speak up.
Cannon, more cannon.
I like it. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I keep saying that I go back and forth on the goats, and now I'm on the no swing again, but then I'll be on the yes swing. But I do want a dairy goat, but I don't know. I have this thing that I want a large one, like a Nubian, and I think that's because like I want to be able to walk with something since I can't have a cow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I have to say though, I adore my pigs. I adore them.
Yeah.
They've really, for me, they've been really life-changing for me. I really love them. I loved Maggie and Winston when we had them. Those were the 2 meat pigs that we had, and that was in 2021. And they were big meat hogs, and they were awesome. And but the Kuni pigs, like the whole breeding thing, has been just so enjoyable. And I'm hoping that Norman is obviously being raised for meat.
Yeah.
And my goal is to show that, he's a meat pig, but he's loved.
Yep.
He's not just thrown out there and says, yep, deal with the cold weather.
Exactly.
Which is why I post a lot about him, because I want people to see that he's being raised and loved all the way up till the end.
Yep.
He's going to be with us over a year. So,
Yep.
he gets treated well, and I'll go out with some warm feed tonight after the live and give him something extra to eat so his digestion keeps him warm.
Yeah.
Because he's so little and he's by himself. So, but I try to show that, because I know that sometimes we as homesteaders get a lot of feedback about raising our own meat, and sometimes it's not very nice or not very educated.
Yeah.
I certainly respect other people, but
they haven't done their research.
Exactly. And Rich is in the chat being Rich. He said, sounds like the Holmans are going through a rough patch as they are missing Jack. Maybe a couple of roosters would help them.
No.
Well, Rich, on my way to deliver 2 roosters to them, I have 2 for you.
We've got 2 roosters.
Do you have any little animal sales anywhere out there? Now, like out town, we've got, it's tomorrow, small animal sales. Like it starts at 3:00. They'll sell like whatever they call it, junk. One man junk's another man's treasure. But anyway, at 4:00, they'll sell chickens and small animals. And by the small animals, we've seen pheasants there, peacocks, rabbits. Then when they get done selling that,
well, we're waiting for you to come back. You froze up a little. So we're going to give them a second while they reconnect. Daz, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you. That is so sweet. You didn't need to do that. Oh, Daz. Doug and Carolyn, you're still frozen. But we're patient. Oh, they'll be back. They'll be back. Daz, thank you so much. My gosh. That was very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Norman is cute and cuddly. I agree. Oh, here they're coming back. Hang on. Are you guys ready back there? Good to go? Okay. You froze up while you were telling us about the small animal sales.
Okay. Like it's every other Saturday, and they'll sell the junk first, and then at 4:00 they'll start selling chickens and other small animals, crate animals they call them. And then after that, if they have any cattle, they'll sell them. And then They'll start selling the sheep next, and then the last thing to sell is goats. And like a lot of people will come around that buys goats to take, like, say the big meat, markets like New Holland, Pennsylvania is one of them.
Okay.
They'll buy, a bunch here, and then they'll take them up north to Pennsylvania to sell.
We have meat goats.
Yeah, that's what we've got is meat goats.
That's awesome. When we lived in Leicester, right outside of Asheville. There was an animal auction there.
Thank you.
The auctions out here, there's one about 2 hours away.
Oh,
I don't know a lot about it. Ryan knows more about it than I do, but I know that the other type of auctions they have here are the kind that have the catalogs for the bloodlines.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, not for chickens.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so that's one of the things, because that was one of the things that I was looking for and I was not able to find any. There are some, but they are so far from us. You could drive across, for us, if you drive across the state of South Dakota, it's over 8 hours.
No.
So, so for us to get, for example, when we went to our breeder for the pigs, we were all the way over on the eastern side of the state and up near the North Dakota border.
Yeah.
And it was 8 hours.
Oh gosh.
So, and a lot of the auctions are more that way, which is so weird.
Yeah.
And then there's some in the middle of the state as well. And, if I had livestock, it would probably be worth it.
Yeah.
But, I'm just going to give Rich the old Swedes, all 4 of them, maybe, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if I show up at his door and I just drop him off,
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to look more into the one that's above there. People were talking about Norman being cute and cuddly. Norman is very cute and cuddly. Where are the Holmans from is what people are asking.
Upper East Tennessee. We're just about up in the very corner. We're close to Virginia, North Carolina, both. We're up in the mountains.
That's awesome. Let's see here. No worries, Rich. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. Poor Rich probably missed that I'm going to be dropping off roosters to his house. That's a good thing because I'm behind in the chat.
Oh, Lord. Just pull up, knock on the door, and he steps outside and looks for it.
Oh, I'm not knocking. I'm just going to drop them off like everybody does to farms with cats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Barb, some of the animal auctions are not something you want to go to, Barb.
Yeah.
Some
of them are a struggle bus and some of them are not. That's what I've heard. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
There's some that's not.
Most of the time, if we go for, we'll go to sell something, we're not really going to buy anything. We try to do individual farms or something like that. They're actually,
and the one we go to is not like that.
No. The one we go to is not like that. They're actually our goats has pretty much been a closed herd for quite a while. We did go buy a full-blooded Kiko from a man down in Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
The reason we switched more over to Kikos, a little bit better parasite resistance.
Oh. Hey, Grace and Fire. Hey, Paul's Green Space. Sorry, guys. I missed you guys. I'm just looking. Somebody just said something about auctions. Blue was saying over in the UK or Australia. Just trying to think if I got. Yeah, it's funny. I know this is not like a scientific way to buy animals, but there's a lot to be said for what you're looking at when you go to get them.
Yeah.
And I know that, it's funny because I remember Ryan saying to me, because he's the one who knows more about this, but I remember him saying to me, he's like, don't get your hopes up, because if we get there and the place is a mess,
Mm-hmm.
we're not taking them home, because that's a problem. We're not taking
Yeah.
them home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But I know that he's right. It's just funny because then my mindset goes to, well, I need to rescue them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I do know the importance of being careful and doing your research before you go. And I know that you can't do all the research. That comes more with years of experience, even though you can do it all. But I'm really thankful that especially with the Kuni pigs, I found that I'm very thankful to not only have had a really good breeder that I stumbled on,
Mm-hmm.
and also that I have a mentor in Texas who has been really great about talking to me about different things and so on. So she's just been really awesome. Yeah, you're right, Blue. You're right. Personally, I think if the auction and auctioneer are messy and could care less, I'm not buying every. No, you're right, because you're inheriting a problem. I totally get it.
Exactly.
I totally get it. I'm pretty good about saying, like, I'm pretty good, like, if Ryan says to me, like, hey, that's a problem. Don't bring that home, because you can, hurt everybody in the farm. So,
And that's just like years ago, we used to raise baby calves. And we got out of it, but you can look on Craigslist. If something looks too good to be true, most of the time it is. There was a guy I worked with. He's left there now, but he had bought several calves, and it wasn't really what the guy had told him. He got them home, and they all passed away. He wasn't able to save. Yeah, all got the scours and.
Yeah.
But,
that's awful.
Yeah.
And that's a huge investment.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 he had got, and every one of them,
That's awful. And I know, like, Ryan's talked about his experiences on farms as a teenager, and them. And of course, I'm just giving you the very general sense. I don't want to give all the details, but it's, I know that one of the things that he came across was they took in an animal that had hoof rot.
Mm-hmm.
And that stays in the soil for years, is my understanding. So, it's just really important to be able to know what you're looking at, because, even a chicken you can take in, and really they should be isolated for a while before anything else. And it's hard because you don't want them, but at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice everybody in the coop.
Yeah.
So what other kinds of things do you think people would love to know about you guys? Carolyn does canning and cooks some good food.
Oh yeah.
I do. I love canning. That's just, some people don't like to do it, but it's a lot of work, but I just love doing it. So my mom, she used to can like jellies, pickles, things like that. She never did pressure can. My dad was always scared of pressure canners. And then when my mother-in-law, she pressure canned, and I learned a lot from her. And Doug bought me a pressure canner, and from then on,
she's hooked.
I was hooked. So
she's a jar junkie.
I love my jars.
That's awesome.
Back that little auction we went to, it's been a few years ago, but I was telling you, they start selling junk at 3:00. Well, we get there, and here's a bunch of baskets full of old jars, and you can just see she's looking at them there. So I started bidding on. We got them, but no, she's got a few old ones and stuff there, and we just slowly. She loves jars. I mean, it's just she's got like in the kitchen there over top. She puts like dried beans in them there, and I mean, she's a jar junkie. I mean,
Hey, Corner Clubhouse, welcome in. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you do crafts or anything like, or any hobbies that you have, Carolyn?
Well, you used to crochet and all.
I used to crochet some, but I've got carpal tunnel now, so it's kind of hard to. But that canning is just about my hobby, I guess. Plus, it puts back food for us, and
And then Daniel, he makes some wooden spoons.
Mhm.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, different things like that there. And eventually we would like to get up here a workshop for me and Daniel to where we could go back to making, I mean, by no means are we experts or anything, but we can, make a little bit of stuff. Lord willing, hopefully I'm off this week and next week. We got laid off, maybe more. We'll see. I don't know, but
sorry to hear that.
It's just the way the economy is right now.
Yeah,
It's very true.
But anyway, Mom and them was needing a roof put on their house, and they had called up several people, and they just said they're so booked up they never even come out and looked. So we ordered the metal. It come in yesterday, and hopefully nothing happens Monday. I'll get up there and get the roof. It's supposed to warm up into the 50s Monday, so hopefully,
Nice.
yeah.
yeah,
This morning, it was cold here, but nothing like you had. It was 17 this morning.
It's all relative, so I totally get it.
So hopefully, Lord willing, Monday we'll start getting the roof put on the house over there. Like I said, no expert, but hopefully I can get it done.
It's a good time of the year to do a roof, though.
Yeah, won't be burning up there, that's for sure. And it's funny, I was talking to several of the other guys who called me. They're working on their roofs this week while they're off too. So it just everything hit at one time there. But,
For sure.
But no, we would just like to be able to start producing. We right now are producing a lot of our food. Grocery bills slowly going. You can't really tell it the way groceries are high right now, but we're working on it there. And like I said, I would eventually like to where we could produce all of our meat and vegetables and stuff like that there. It's just, and then hopefully you all be watching us get to that point there.
Yeah. And I think there's a reality, right? There's a reality to it that, it's a great goal we all have, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, The Gathering Within. Hello, Annie's Urban Kitchen. Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. It's a great goal, but I think there's a reality, and especially as we're getting older too, right?
Yeah.
That's a reality.
Yep.
And so I mean, I think you have to be realistic too about it. So just like as much as I encourage people who are living, say, in an apartment and have a patio to grow what you can, I think there's also a reality for us too,
Yeah.
Is even if you have the farm, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And especially if you're working and you're doing all that stuff, it's a lot.
Well,
yeah.
Just for instance, like right now, I'm glad we've got a bunch of food canned up. Still, I think next week they're supposed to be sending somebody from the unemployment agency up. From what they told me today, a lot of us out there, they've still never even got our unemployment took care of yet. So, but when they do, the most we can draw is like $275.
Yep.
Okay. My health insurance each week is $176. That's just going to leave $99. So, at least we've got food. A lot of people, just go day to day. They have to stop at the grocery store every day, and like those poor people, I don't know, we're sort of like what would you say, preppers, and all of us, homesteaders. I mean, we're all expect the worst, hope and pray for the best, but expect,
Yeah, it's a reality, and then what a lot of people don't take the time to mention, even though it's to me common sense, but some people don't think about it. When you build that pantry up and you've got that pantry full, and it's that feeling of pride, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you have a situation like you're talking about where money's tight.
Yep.
We all have those times, and then when you have it, that
Yep.
pantry starts to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And so, but it is a good feeling to have it there when you
Yeah.
need it. We do it because we're in a rural area. That's our main reason,
Mhm.
because groceries in our town are ridiculous.
Yeah.
We saw the prices again today because we happened to go to Rapid City to go get some items we needed for Thanksgiving. We have our turkey, but we wanted a couple extra things. And it's just like, I look at the prices at, the big box store compared to
Yeah.
my local independent grocery store that I want to support,
Yeah.
but they're almost twice the price.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the coffee was $6 more a container in my local town than it was at the big box store.
Yeah.
The half and half is $5 more. That's crazy.
Yes. That.
And then you look at the other thing that frustrates me is even with the amount of traffic here, meaning from tourism, which is majority of the year. It slows down this time, but still majority of the year, you'd be surprised how much tourism is here.
Yeah.
The problem is that you go to get, cheese, and you buy the store name shredded cheese, and it's molded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't see it in the package. We always know to look at it, look at the dates, but there's nothing more frustrating than that.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know if you guys have ever had that experience.
We've had
Yes.
some before.
And we've noticed it here a lot more lately, like cottage cheese. We went to look. She said there, on the way home from work the other day, she said, stop and get me some of that there. Of course, I stopped anyway. But it was a month out of date. And the guy was in the store. And the guy was putting stuff out. And I brought it to his attention. He's just like shrugged his shoulders and just kept on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like they don't care. It's just.
Yeah.
And with the prices going up, a lot of people ain't buying. So I would say it's not getting rotated out,
Yeah.
the older stuff.
It's maddening.
Yeah.
That is something that just maddens me.
Yeah.
I know Ryan was walking around the big box store today and was just grumbling at every section because he's really good at prices. I am not. He's really good at that. He is like, this is what I love about that man. That man is a miser. He squeaks when he walks.
That's good.
And I love it. And it's great. But he was walking around and all he kept saying when he was picking stuff up and he was going like this, he's like, oh, $2 for a can of tuna fish. I said, stop complaining because you're not buying meat.
That's like my dad. He's deaf. He lost his hearing overnight, 20-some years ago. But anyway, he'll take mom to the grocery store. He's sitting out there. He's got his little dog in there with him. And he'll laugh. He says there, everybody you see come out of the grocery store, they're stopping there looking at their sales receipt like, how could this be? It's got to be wrong. It is. You can buy 3 or 4 things, $50 now. I don't know.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Well, I want to be mindful of the time. I see we're at an hour. Do you have just a couple of minutes in case anybody has any questions for you?
Yep.
Sure.
But I want to be mindful of the time because you're in Eastern, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they are 2 hours ahead of us. So it's really late by them. So I don't want to keep them too long. But if anybody has any questions for the Holmans, and again, keep in mind, excuse me, keep in mind that they used to be Appalachian American Homestead. They are Holman's Homestead.
Yeah.
I know some of you saw the post that I sent out a week or two ago and said, hey, I've checked them out. But yeah, share them out if you can. They're a great channel, great family channel, awesome stuff that they're sharing. And I think it would be really good to just help them get to their milestone. They're going to get there anyway because they're awesome.
Oh,
thank you. Lisa.
thank you.
Oh, no, I love watching your videos. I'm telling you, What's for Supper Wednesday is my favorite. But I love all your videos, but I do love What's for Supper Wednesday. I'm always sitting there like, what are they making today? And it's funny because now I know why I love watching your channel is because I look at the stuff you're making and I'm like, oh, I've made that. I am all about simple home cooking.
Yep.
Nothing fancy here. It's
No.
But I love that. I love it. It's good comfort food.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Broke Cowgirl said, I'm a new friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the Cow Emporium said, love watching What Is for Supper videos. Yeah, I just love the whole concept. I think you guys do it really well. And I think you present it in I like that you present it in a very quick way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You get to the point, you do it.
Don't drag it out.
Right.
And, if it's something we don't like, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
All three of us, we love to cook. All three of us love to eat.
Yep.
Just am now from that C virus, last November, just am starting to get some of my smell and taste back. It's
Wow.
crazy. I don't know. But yeah, we just, it's stuff that we like you said, comfort food. And it's nice meeting you too.
Yes, absolutely. Daz said, don't watch their supper videos at 2 a.m. I make that mistake too many times.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any questions, guys? I just want to throw that out there. And I also, I have to admit, this was before I started watching your channel. I heard that from friends of mine on YouTube that your hog processing video was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I have to check it out. But I just want to throw that out there for folks. So that's really cool. But you got to see Carolyn's been doing a lot of Canon videos and everything. And I just like them because I like that to me, you're the kind of channel I want to watch because you're genuine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely genuine. And, that's what we try to be. It's what you see is what you get. It was funny. I was posting on my Instagram. I do a lot on Instagram stories. And I don't know if you guys are on Instagram. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
A lot of the things on Instagram, people say, oh, well, welcome to the side of Instagram where we post reality versus show you the perfection. So I didn't even realize that. I'm sitting there like I was just being me. So it's funny. I've gone out of my way to post like my big fails.
Yeah.
So I was posting that I made soap for the second time because the first one was a really bad fail. So right now I've got soap sitting behind me. Everybody says, oh, it should be hardened and cured in 24 hours with the hot press. So I posted on my Instagram. I said, yeah, still soft. I'm going to try again tomorrow. I agree, Grace and Fire. I love reality, not fiction. I'd rather show the good and the bad. Like I screw up. It's not a good idea. I'd rather tell you that.
Yeah.
But I don't see any questions for you guys, but I want to be mindful of the time. Any last stuff you want to throw out there for people that maybe hook them into your channel?
Go ahead. I don't know.
Just if we find something that works, we'll let you know. Also, if something doesn't work, we'll let you know. Through the winter here, I'm going to try to be having, everybody knows, like the fertilizer prices are going up. I'm going to be making a video before long. Anita on Flower Folk Farm, she told us about the lab. I did a little bit more research into that. Natural Korean Farming, I believe is what it is. They will tell you you can make fermented plant juice, which is basically fertilize.
Wow.
It's you find something that's grows good around where you live. It's real simple. Like say something that grows fast and strong and sturdy. Cut the leaves off of a morning and take brown sugar and mix into that there, and it will pull out the juices out of it, and you can use that as fertilizer. Um,
Wow.
Price of fertilizer is going up crazy anymore, and then you can spray it on as foliar and actually pour it into the ground. And there's some other things on there, but hopefully we'll be having some videos on that coming up. Anything to try to help people out.
Yeah.
And
We live on a farm, so there's always a project
Oh, yeah.
going on. So,
Always a problem and a project.
yes.
That was not a Freudian slip. That is fact right there.
so
Yep.
if it could go wrong, it'll go wrong.
It's so true. It's so true. Can I just tell you one thing real quick?
Yes.
We've got those those blue barrels
Uh-huh.
that we cut in half, and I feed the boars in them, and I did that because the boars just Grant climbs on Sherman gets mad and hits him back, and then I'm in the middle. So what we did was cut the blue feeders and the barrel in half, and we hooked it to the fence. I go out to feed tonight. It's cold.
Yeah.
I go out to feed tonight, and feeding with them is like, we soak it. So it's like, I don't want to get it on their heads because it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Grant is always like right there, and I got to scrape it off his ear. So I go down there. One of the feeders is gone.
Oh, no.
They've knocked it off the fence, broken the wires, and it's down in the pasture.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
So I had an extra rubber bowl. I just threw it out there for Sherman, but tomorrow we got to fix that. So there's always a problem.
and they pick the worst days. to
Every
do
day
that.
a different adventure.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Grayson Fire says, "Oh my gosh, that's talent." Yeah. So I told Ryan, I was like, "Can we get a bungee cord or something?" Because you know what they do? They climb in it. Even though they can reach it with their snout, they're climbing in it all the time.
Yeah.
And then they're fighting. So there's two boars in there. It's just like crazy.
Yeah.
But LAB, Anita at Flower Folk Farm
Mhm.
Yeah.
had a great video on that. And she also referenced another, I believe, an Australian channel. And she loves LAB.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where we got
Yep,
it from.
that's
Yeah.
Anita's
Okay.
where we got it from. Yep.
And I know the Cow Emporium was talking about having that. And also, I think it was the Vineyard Chicks. And yeah, Charlie, I see 19, but we're going to get going. But I just want to thank you guys for really being here.
Thank you, and everybody is watching.
Thank you. Thank you all.
This was our
And-
first live ever.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, you guys did really, really well
Thank you.
Thank you.
because, like, you were able to, I sent you the link. You were able to figure it out. You did a great job. And even with the technical issues I was having tonight.
That I'm telling you that right now. That was because of us. Whenever we get around some kind of technical stuff like that, technology,
It goes wrong.
it goes wrong. So
Well,
that
I
was
think you done good, let me tell you. And it was really a pleasure to meet you guys face to face because I am a groupie for your channel.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We
for
love your channel.
giving
Thank
us
you.
this-
Thank you. You guys frozen up, I think, again. Well, we're going to let them go. If you guys can hear me, you're welcome to hang on for a minute and I will end the live and just chat with you real quick backstage. But thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you check out Holman's Homestead. And thanks for putting up with all the technical issues. I will delete that other live. So Take care, y'all. Let me just give them a chance to say goodbye. I wanted
Bye.
to give you a chance to say goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay safe.
All right. Well, if you guys want to hang out for just a minute, but thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Take care.